without further ado, it's 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, I believe it is officially. I should have been saying, I keep saying Eastern Standard Time, but it's Eastern Daylight Savings Time, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Visual Thursdays with your host, anime fan RK2K. We're going to try and get through some Katawa Shoujo tonight. We're doing the Rin route. We're very close to the end. That says the scene. Last time when we played, Hisao messed up with Rin. They had a huge falling out of sorts, and now we're at the art gallery where she's exhibiting her work. Let's see how that goes. A headache is relentlessly thumping against the back of my head as I push open the door to the 22nd corner. Apart from that, I'm perfectly calm. After venting on Rin all that anger that I bottled inside, felt like a great weight had been lifted from my heart. The tension that had grasped my mind for the past few weeks faded away without leaving even a shadow behind. This nearly zen-like state of enlightenment, I realized that perhaps it was a bad idea to yell at her like that. No shit, Sherlock. I really meant it. What good does blowing up like that do? Nothing. I'm not like that. I don't normally yell at people. I don't know why I did yesterday. So I keep feeling really guilty about it and wanted to take my words back. Rin is probably upset too. Even more than my own behavior, her reaction shocked me. I always thought of her as unchanging, detached from her surroundings, so that seeing my yelling get her so upset felt out of place. I wonder if she understands how I feel. In Rin's world, everything seems to be absolutely subjective. Absolutely subjective. As if she was completely unable to see things from other points of view than her own. But ultimately, is anyone able to do it? Maybe objectivity and altruism are just illusions for people who like to think of themselves as compassionate. Just like art is an illusion for people who think reality is merely a veil for something greater. Even when you stop thinking that the world revolves around you, or start thinking outside the mythical box, you're just inside another bigger box that you can't escape. Hisao's twatness is the main complaints for this VN. That doesn't surprise me. We've been making fun of him all visual novel. Maybe that ultimately makes her like the rest of us. Stepped through the door to find a gallery filled with illusion people. Despite Sai's remarks during my earlier visits, I always thought it was very spacious. Now when it's crowded like this, it looks positively cramped. Oh, I did not see the comforting Misha yet. I was going to see that on my off time, but I didn't have a chance yet. I have to see that at some point. I immediately noticed Saya is standing in the middle of a lively discussion, busily chattering with some old gentleman. She's actually pretty tall and kind of cool looking, so she stands out in the crowd. There are a few dozen wine glasses laid out on the tables along the back wall, filled with burgundy liquid. The vast majority of the guests are sipping from their own glasses. Socialites and art connoisseurs are mingling happily, exchanging mild opinions about Rin's art, which seems to be a secondary object of interest for most. Feel distanced, excluded from the other people here. Can't claim even at a stretch to be a social chameleon, so this situation is quite unnerving. Yeah, it's true. It's what makes Hisao. And this visual novel would not be if it wasn't for Hisao as well. He contributed somewhere. So I don't blend into the crowd at all, I just fake that I do. Trying to look as cool and smooth as I can. Wonder how Rin is handling all this. If it was me, I'd be quite freaked out. Throwing the anxiety aside, I try to carefully navigate through the crowd, stealing peeks at the framed paintings now hanging on the walls. Rin's exhibition takes about half the gallery's wall space. Some paintings are less familiar than others, but I recognize most of them. Some I've seen being created at the club meetings after all. I remember from the time when Rin was choosing her portfolio. I note that a couple of the unfinished paintings are framed on the wall as well. Maybe that's what they call coincidental art. Even Rin's failures, if you call them that, became exhibits of her skill, quite paradoxical. She herself is nowhere to be seen, which is strange because even though it's crowded, the gallery is pretty small. It's fine, sort of. I don't know how to face her after yesterday, and I shouldn't have even come. I promised various people, Rin included, that I would, so... Damn. Sounds like I do the things I do because some kind of instinctual properness compels me to, not because to be sensible. Or not. Sneak closer to his side to wait for a lull in the conversation so he can chat her up too. Though her voice is almost completely buried under the general background noise, hear bits and pieces of her talking about Rin. Yes, she is a high schooler at a local school. Even though she's graduating next year, I'm sure various art schools will be interested in. I thought it'd be interesting to have an exhibition of someone who is still in early stages of development. So strange. It's like Rin is some kind of mini celebrity, even though this is nothing but a small exhibition opening at a small art gallery of a small town. In fact, there's a friend of mine from. I think I'm gonna assume that's our teacher, right? It's Isao! He's dropping his interrupted by a familiar voice and familiar slap to the back. No need to guess the source either, even without turning around. Oh no, it's Emmy. My bad. I thought it was the art teacher. Hi, Emmy. Hi. Are you like a representative of the art club or something? I don't see anyone else from the school here. I don't know really. I guess I am if that's the case. What about you? What about me? You didn't think I'm interested in art. Is that it, Hisao? No, that's not what well, maybe a little, if you put it that way. I mean, even though you hang out with Rin, I never heard you talk about art with her, so... Me huffs and looks around her, looking discontented. It's true. I don't get it at all. But she came to my track meet, so I thought it's only fair to return the favor. She leans closer, trying to look confidential, but only managed to look conspiring. Do you get art? Nope. No, I don't. At all. My emphasizing headshake draws a giggle and cheery headshake of her own out of Emmy. Airhead Emmy. Lemons! I understand that reference. Me neither. Hey, let's go talk with Rin. I bet you haven't yet, because I haven't either. Come on. Before she has a chance to forcefully drag me to Rin, Nomi appears behind her with Rin in his tow. He's not dressed for the occasion, instead opting for the usual school uniform and unkempt hair. Her natural look is what suits her the best. Hello, teacher. Hi, Rin. Unfazed, he greets the teacher cheerfully, causing him to turn around and look down confusedly. Who are you? I'm Emmy, from school, class 3-4. Don't you remember? She looks positively shocked at the prospect that there could be a person who doesn't know her. Oh, sorry. You are in the same class as Tezuka, is right. Yeah. You'll have to pardon me. I have trouble remembering students who don't take art. Don't mind. Hi, Rin. Hello. Congratulations for your super cool art thing. I'm sure you'll be a big hit. She throws her arms into the air for boisterous emphasis, almost hitting me in the face. BAM! Hits Hisao in the face anyway. And look, Hisao came too. Rin doesn't look at me, nor does she greet me. Congratulations, Rin. She's averting her gaze, pointedly looking at her sandals. Oblivious to the tension between us and ignorant of what happened yesterday, Emmy keeps on blabbering about this and that to an unresponsive Rin. Guess she's used to not getting much out of her at times. Oh, what's that link? Is it safe? For long, Nomi Asaya turned to Rin, introducing her. Expecting it, I catch a second of confusion when the guests see her arms. Says luckily on the ball and briefly explains about her school. Promise it's safe? Well, I'll be the judge with that. Oh, okay. It's the Rin Lemon. It's the Emmy Lemon. Emmy Lemon? The Lemmy? What? Alright. Would it be Emmy Lemon or Lemmy? You guys decide in the chat, okay? Sai is luckily on the ball and briefly explains about her school. Doubtful faces quickly change to curious. Would you mind telling us something about your art? I thought the development is quite easily noticeable. What do you yourself think of the differences between the older and more current works? It's quite rare for someone so young to dabble in abstraction. It wouldn't be interesting to see how you work. Oh, definitely. I assume you use your feet. Must have been a great trouble to learn it. You should be proud. Will you be pursuing a career as an artist after school? She's bombarded with so many questions, she can't even hope to answer all of them. Maybe that's for the best. She intends to talk nonsense more than occasionally. So where do you get your ideas? That's a fifth worst. And keeps stumbling with her words, looking more and more vexed by the expected inquiries. Everyone's waiting for her to say something, but she looks like a cat got her tongue. Each question piling up just adds to her distress. Fail to hear the question that is the proverbial one too many. It's like a motor stalling. And just freezes for a long second until she falls on her knees, on the floor and gracefully like a sack of potatoes. Are you alright? I don't know. Tezuka, what's wrong, girl? I don't know what's wrong. Terrible silence falls upon the people gathered around Rin. Everyone is petrified, not knowing how to react to her sudden seizure or something. She breathes with deep, trembling gasps, as if she was running out of air, staring ahead of herself with hollow eyes. Saying nobody does anything, I force myself to step to Rin and lift her up from the floor, letting her lean against me to keep standing. Would you like some fresh air? Okay, let's go outside for a bit. When we wait for her to answer, we're grasping her shoulder and pulling her past the stunned-looking Nomiya, Saya, Emi, and guests. Excuse us. Cool windy breeze hits my face at the door. Look at Rin and she leans against the stone wall, trying to catch her breath. Are you alright? I couldn't say anything. Rin is still not looking at me, so I look away too. Streetlights and colored neon signs twist my vision into a blur of near blindness, forcing me to look back. At least she talks, even if she's not directing her words to me. What did you want to say? Maybe both of us can imagine that we were talking to an invisible friend. I don't know. Something that would have meant something. Silence lasts for a long time. I don't feel comfortable being alone with Rin. I'm not good at imagining things that don't exist. Or that things that exist don't. We should go back in. Guess I invited her in there. Probably want to meet you and talk with you. Ask you questions and stuff about those paintings you worked so hard for. I don't want them to ask me questions like that. I can never say the right things. What do you want then? That someone wouldn't have to ask questions for me. Alright, I think it's the last save, right? So that's obviously the wrong answer, because it's more like, if you found someone like that, then one, right? Has to be the other one. I mean, check the guide. Yep, that is right. Yay, I did it, guys. We're gonna get the Rin good ending. Woo. Anyway. If you found someone like that, then what? Do you really think that it would be some kind of be-all, end-all thing, star-crossed lovers and happily ever after? The question is met with a blank stare. Darkness in her eyes, unfazed by the thinly veiled bitterness. No, I don't think that. But at least then I wouldn't have to be alone. She whispers the words to the lights of the town, but I hear them anyway. I shouldn't have done this. Not yet. The exhibition? She nods and closes her eyes, breathing calmly as if to prove she can, and continues talking to herself. Why? Wrong conjunction of the planets? No, not that. I double-checked. I got up with the left foot, and did everything else left. Right. It's me. I was wrong. Stands straight and stretches before stepping past me out into the street. Wait, where are you going? Stops on her tracks and turns around looking at me quizzically. School. I'm leaving. What? Why? Because I want to be me. Walks off, leaving me behind utterly confused. Rin! Something she said really touched me. Maybe it was the way she said it. It was the fact that she said it. I want to say something back to her before I forget this feeling again. So granting me a wish, Rin stops in her tracks. She doesn't turn around, just keeps waiting for me to say what I want to, even though I didn't have the time to think of what. Rin, listen, I don't believe you have to be alone, even if you never meet anyone like that. I don't know if she heard my words, but either way, she doesn't react in any way. The final time she starts walking away from the gallery. So, where's Tezuka? I can only shake my head, but as it doesn't seem to be a sufficient answer, I have to say something. She ran away. What? Horrific realization spreads out on his face like wildfire. This is a fiasco. Catastrophe. What is that girl thinking? The most important event of her life, and she just runs off? And you, why didn't you stop her? I'm going to hold you personally responsible. Saya interrupts him, holding her hands up calmly. It's good she intervened. She was starting to get a few weird looks from the nearby guests. Now, Shinichi. She probably just had stage fright. I don't know her as well as you people do. I did get the image that she is somewhat peculiar. This kind of thing can happen. It'll be fine. I'll explain that she suddenly became ill. The guests will surely understand. But! Look around you. Everyone seems to be rather happy with their free wine and chit-chat. The guests will be fine, but we are missing on opportunities here. Networking, making contacts and acquaintances. So the adults keep arguing about something that can't be helped. And he tugs my sleeve to get my attention. She doesn't look very happy either. Come on! Where? We are going to find Rin and kick her ass. What? I can't believe it. She is so stupid. That Rin, how can she do this? I'm telling you, she doesn't have a bit of common sense in her head. I mean, seriously angry, only missing steam rising from her ears. Guess I understand Emmy. She is that kind of person. Give up has never felt like a part of her vocabulary. Maybe she feels it shouldn't be a part of anyone's vocabulary. It's probably best to leave her alone for tonight. What? Are you a Rin expert now? Takes a firm stance and puts her hands on her hips confrontationally. It's like she wants to pick a fight with me too. No, I don't think that's even possible in the first place. I just don't think kicking her ass will do her any good. The melancholic remark surprisingly works as Emmy slumps her shoulders a little in size. I know that. You do? Last time we did that, it changed nothing. Wow, the last time she did that? Really? Oh, man. Emmy, stop beating up people. Come on. Ride back to school in an empty late-night bus is silent. Both of us keep staring at the lights flashing past the windows without saying a word. Nightly grounds are quiet, lit only by the wane moon and yellow lampposts. Sarah good nights in front of my dormitory. Emmy reflexively clenching her fist compels me to ensure that she won't assault Rin the moment I let her out of my sight. Promise me not to go scold her? She looks at me, her eyes again flaring with anger that I match with as calming a stare as I can. It's only easy to face an angry woman if you're not the target of her ire. For a minute of the mismatched staring contest, she sighs and shakes her head in defeat. You are too nice, Isao. Did you know that? Hints of a smile tugging the corners of her mouth as she says that. She seems a lot more relaxed. What a sudden change of mood. Maybe she wasn't as angry as it seemed to begin with. Maybe her moods change easily. If I was, I would have let you have your way. Does that mean you are only nice to Rin? Both of us are hiding our concern behind empty jokes. At least it puts me in a good mood. Waggles her eyebrows with a half-amused smirk, trying to push my buttons. Not gonna work. No, it just means I'm not nice only to you. Hey! Good night, Abby. Huh. Wait, what? My battery is running low on my mouse? I'll have to replace it, but later. I should have some backups later. Anyway, last day before summer vacation is waning slowly. Science is the final exam of the trimester, and then we are free. Freedom! The collective yearning for liberty is almost palpable in the classroom, even though the weather seems a tad cloudy. Wireless mouse are a silly thing? Yeah, I agree. Might ring today, who knows. I already finished the test because it was pretty easy. So I'm doodling lazily on the flip side of the paper, waiting for Muto to call time. Look at all these pictures, guys. A lot of in there. I was Prince Misha for trying to covertly look at my answers over my shoulder. She might fool the inattentive teacher, but I can tell that she's trying to look. Guess is our best bet at passing the test. Doesn't make me feel any mercy though, so let's just ignore her and look around me. Yuki flower. It's quiet. The only sound in the classroom is the quiet shuffling of papers and Muto's constant coughing. Makes my awareness of the surroundings slowly drift to the backstage of my consciousness, giving room to other things. Vacation, huh? Some people will stay at the school even on over the holidays. Some will go back to their families. I don't know what to do. I should go buy a train ticket for my trip back home. I can't bring myself to do it. But I'm going to get a call from home again. Mom's going to pester me about when I'm coming back. I'm not going to know what to answer. It's really lousy. My current state of things with Rin feels like I can't just bail out of here and pretend we are through. And now, she has other problems of her own. I thought that the exhibition opening would give her a breather. I was sorely mistaken. Tangle just seems to thicken. Sharp knock on the door interrupts the quiet but frantic mood of the last 15 minutes of the exam. Come in. The opening door reveals the art teacher who steps in with his jacket swirling around him as though in a gust of wind. He glances at Muto, glances back at him. Well, what the hell are you doing here? Frowns spread simultaneously on both of their faces as the men measure each other with their gazes. Oh shoot, look at this fight that we didn't think, guys. Fight of the century, man. Muto versus Nomiya. We all know Muto wins, but the question is, how long will Nomiya last in this fight? 5 seconds, 1 minute, 3 hours. Guess in the chat. Drink tea. The deal walk me would be great. Excuse me, could I borrow Mr. Nakai for a moment? Excuse me, Mr. Nomiya, but we are in the middle of an exam here. Chilly atmosphere suddenly spreads in the middle of the summer afternoon as the two men try to stare each other down. This is urgent, and it seems that Nakai has already finished. Both men turn to look at me, staring at me like a pair of basilisks trying to petrify a tasty snack. It's true that I've been idle for a good while now, so Nomiya is right, but Mewtwo versus weird old pervert. Nakai, would you like to check your answers one more time? Mewtwo speaks with an odd intonation, weighing certain words as if trying to send a message. Pressure from their stares makes me rapidly shake my head, which is apparently interpreted as an answer of some sort. Very well, Nakai. Go with Mr. Nomiya, if you please. Take your bag with you and bring your test paper to my desk. You have a nice vacation. Oh, Muto on my side. You too, teacher. Entire world. Well, at least the classroom seemed to hold its breath just for me, putting the exam on hold until I stand up, collect my stuff, and walk to the door. I feel the stairs in the back of my deck. Classmates probably think I'm in for some detention or something on the last day of the school before summer vacation. I don't know what the teacher wants from me, but I can guess it probably is not detention, and also that it probably has something to do with Rin again. No, he doesn't take me anywhere, contenting himself with the hallway as it's completely abandoned. Do you know where Tezuka is? So she's trying to avoid the teacher. Par for the course, probably. Wonder if she realizes that she can't avoid dealing with this indefinitely. I have no idea. You've probably asked in her homeroom next door. Of course I have. I've searched every nook and cranny of this blasted school and the girls' dorm. You are the last one to see her since yesterday, and you are her friend. Work with me here. Aren't you worried? I am, but I don't know what I could do. Rin did something incomprehensible yesterday, even for her. Seemed really confused. Maybe she just wants some time to think then. I got the feeling that she had second thoughts about having that exhibition. Or something. She really didn't explain what was wrong. What second thoughts? I don't know, just got that feeling. I am being a little dishonest with the teacher, but this is not something I should be meddling with. He came to me. Yes, why? Maybe he thinks I'm some kind of confidant of Rin's, but I don't think I can help with this matter. The teacher huffs and scratches his head in confusion. What's up with that girl? This is so unlike her. She's always been so goal-driven. Goal-driven? Those don't really strike me as words to describe Rin. To me, she's always felt obsessive at best. I don't mean to be rude, but wasn't it you who pushed Rin to that direction in the first place? Her goal is my goal. That is a mentor's job. I guess so. I just don't know if painting can make her happy. That's pretty preposterous of you to say, Nakai. So he sounds pretty irate. Did I say something stupid? You don't understand, do you? It is not a question of happiness. For every gain, there is a sacrifice to be made. There is no free lunch, but would I let that girl waste her talent if she had a moment of doubt? Never. Painting is work just like any other. Tezuka might make it look like child's play to you, but she works hard every day to make her art. To become extraordinary, one has to make an extraordinary effort. The more the teacher talks, the more I feel that Rin doesn't think like that, even though I have no idea how she thinks. I can very well understand why she would sacrifice her summer vacation and make up for the lost classes and exams to get a chance at showing her art. This is a path she has taken. To go all the way, that's not easy. I know she is young, and things are hard for her just like for all the kids here in this school, but that's no excuse. He is finished. But, do you have anything like what art is to Tezuka? No. That's right. Only vague ideas of my future. No goal to shoot for, dream to blindly reach for. Join the art club in search of something I could be interested in, to get inspired by. Did I find something like that? All I found in the end was Rin. No, I don't have a passion like that. Then you can't understand. This flat statement allows no counter-argument, but she might not understand even herself. Still, I carry on arguing, out of spite, if for nothing else. How could she not? She's been at it so hard for the past 3 weeks that she put off even coming to school. Not to say anything about attending class. Don't be ridiculous. I don't think I'm being ridiculous, but as I have no rebuttal, nobody seems to consider this one his win. At any rate, the opening was quite successful despite Tezuka hardly showing up. Many people were interested in her work, and one piece was even sold for a reasonable price. Well, that's nice, isn't it? Yes, it's fantastic news. I hope that Tezuka would come to her senses when she heard about this, but... He sighs and takes off his glasses, cleaning them against his jacket, or putting them on his nose again. At any rate, I should be going. There is this mess to be settled with Saya and everyone. If you see Tezuka, please ask her to come see me. Otherwise, have a nice vacation. Thanks. Wow, what a dick, man. Between Nomiya and Jigoro, and why are all the other adult males assholes that show off as one-offs in these stories? After he has disappeared around the corner, I ponder where Rin could really be. Feels like she has not one, but at least half a dozen of these secret places. Balance between the desire to solve this tangle and to drop it for good. The disused classroom is just a few feet away. What to do? Push open the door, only the shadow screaming from inside. Hey there. She's standing in the middle of the sunlit room, peering through the gaps of the curtains out into the yard. Like so often before, she doesn't start or jump, just calmly waits for me to make the first move. I like your nicknames for Muto and for Muto, Mewtwo. Girls that ask me gets points for dissing yourself. Oh, that's fair. I don't like these guys. I think Saya is a lot more, much more likable. Like so often before, she doesn't start. Okay, yeah, I read this. It's as if she was trying to become a permanent part of the furniture. Teacher is looking for you. Blank look over her shoulder is all I get, accompanied by a cryptic non-expression on her face. Are you looking for me too? Nah, I already found you, didn't I? Did you? Furrows her brow, looking so puzzled that it makes me wonder if the question was asked in all seriousness. Maybe it was. Are we talking metaphorically now? Do you mean like eels, caves and dark, stormy nights? I'm bad at talking like that. The abruptly ended greeting gives me a chance to close the door behind me and sit down on a dust-covered desktop. It stays standing, but at least she turns around. So wish she didn't though, so oppressive is her expectant stare. It's her place that I'm an intruder, although a tolerated one. Despite that, she still waits for me to say something. If I only knew that, what? The sunlit silence presses me towards decisions. Came here without really thinking what I would do, apart from delivering Nomi a short message in case Rin was here. She was, and now I don't know what else to say. What else should I say? Hover between my two options for a moment. Rin being troubled troubles me too. It's a surprising revelation, almost as big as realizing that she really is troubled. Wait, what? Almost as big as realizing that she really is troubled was? Oh, it's a surprising revelation, almost as big as realizing that she really is troubled was. Okay, that made sense to me after I read it again. Nothing I could do would probably help. I might be partially to blame too. Does it mean I should just wash my hands of her? Didn't think so. So what's wrong? Nothing. Starts to turn away again, as if trying to physically exit a conversation she doesn't want to have. Rin, stop trying to dodge me or I'll leave. Okay. You want me to leave? Are you still angry? Took us, or was it only me, 10 seconds to swamp the conversation into this? Wish you could erase the past, or failing that, forget all about it. Wish for that more than once in the last few months. Let's put that aside for the time being, alright? If you say so. I do. So, what's wrong? Saya and Nomio were not too happy that you just ran off yesterday. Left them in quite a pinch, and I suppose the teacher wants some kind of an explanation. Seems like you just threw out everything you had worked for. I don't get why. Did I make a mistake? My reprimanding and her flat answer goes so much against the usual expectations and presumed interactions that might just as well be somebody else talking. Neither of us is like we used to be. This stiff, constricting feeling I get every time I look at Rin nowadays seems to be mirrored in her own behavior. Hate things that go irreparably wrong. Ever since February, I've hated them. What can I say? Question is trailed by a compelling, quizzical stare that makes me sigh and frown. Conversations nobody wants to have are the worst. I don't know. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it probably was pretty stupid. Her response was a sigh of her own, although hers is not nearly as heavy as mine was. I just couldn't do it. But why? What's wrong? A pause, furrowed brow, a quiet voice. Let it be, Hisao. I don't think I can really explain it in a way that would make sense. Yeah, Rin doesn't want to have this conversation either. That may be for the better. But how rare of her to admit that even she has some kind of limits. I always thought Rin was all but ignorant of her tendencies to get distracted, so much that she inadvertently obfuscates everything she says. Never explain anything in a way that would make sense. Nobody else has ever asked me to. Guess that's how it is. I always wanted to make sense of you, to find out who you are. Still want to, can't you see? I know you can't, but I do. So why keep this up? Pains you as much as it pains me. It's unlikely to be of any use to either. We did things and said things that can't be undone. It's as if you and me being close to each other just hurts us both, but we still deliberately keep doing it. Isn't that silly? Even now. And see how you force yourself to respond even though you owe me nothing. Even if it's hard to talk about things like this. Why? Why is it that you paint? Because I don't know what else I could do. It's like this feeling that there is no choice. That's the only possibility. Like when there are only watermelon flavored popsicles left in the store, but you need to eat a popsicle. Poor metaphor aside, she didn't really answer anything. If possible, this makes even less sense than not knowing. But if you don't want to paint... Not like that. You had to come to this school even though you probably didn't want to have a heart attack. She pauses, frowning, as if something in what she said didn't please her. At least, I think you wouldn't. Her careful follow-up is followed in turn by another shorter pause with another smaller frown. Would you like to have a heart attack? No, I wouldn't, and I didn't want to. But you're doing fine, aren't you? Or are you still sad about it? This question makes me realize I haven't really thought about my illness for weeks. Aside from chugging down my medication every day, there has been no need to concern myself with my broken heart, which I'm only thankful for, really. Getting to know new people, a new school, a new town, a new life. It all has caught me and made the past fade away. No. I guess even I can't dwell on the past indefinitely. See, even watermelon doesn't really taste bad if you have to eat it. Her half-nonsensical closure seems to put an end to the subject in Rin's mind, so just nod in uncertain confirmation. There are two kinds of silences. Awkward ones that you want to break, and comfortable ones that you don't mind. The first kind is bad because it makes your thoughts go awry, like mine do now. Looking at Rin makes me feel bad. I don't want to feel like this. Looking at Rin makes me feel exhausted. I really tried my best. She tried to. I have no idea. We ended up like this. She ended up screwing up her exhibition opening. Feels like we are at a dead end. There's no direction to continue to. I reached out for her yesterday thinking it would be the last time. She walked away. I want to be me. The heck does that even mean? Rin, if anyone, is most definitely herself. I feel kind of relieved that I'm not the one to blame, but this still grates on my mind. Why did she run away? Didn't make sense yesterday. Doesn't make sense today. The things she said feel like they should make sense, but they just don't to me. You know, about that thing you just said. Which one of them? Painting. So I said something like that to me too before. A true artist does not paint because she wants to, but because she must. I've been wondering about what she said. Why do artists have to paint? The question is probably pretty stupid. At least Rin looks at me in a blank way that seems to say so. I don't know. Am I an artist? Well, you paint stuff and you have an exhibition too. Say you qualify. I still don't know, but okay. Thinking pause that follows seems to last for half an eternity. Like most people, Rin doesn't flavor her thinking pauses by body language or saying like or or anything. I've noticed that I might prefer her way. The usual way even annoys me, as if people were so infatuated by the sound of their own voice, they just have to keep making some noise even when they are just thinking what they could say next. Rin just comes to a full stop while she's thinking. It's disconcerting because reacting to people spacing out is always hard, but she comes off as less obnoxious. I think I want someone to see what's inside me, not the way doctors and serial killers do. The way that doesn't make me feel lonely. This is what you call metaphorical, you see? Please don't lecture me about self-evident things. It's not self-evident that this is self-evident. So you present a painting to someone, expect them to magically see a glimpse of your soul? It's not like that. It's just a little like that, but not really. Don't you understand? I do and I don't. You know, I feel a little bit of despair every time you ask that question. What question? About whether I understand you or not. She seems almost surprised at my clarification. Oh, it's not really a question. It's one of those kind that you don't have to answer. Rhetorical. Yeah, that's the word. A question that is not a question is a rhetorical question. How nice. That reminds me, it doesn't really make sense. What kind of a question is one that isn't a question? A rhetorical one. What kind of an answer is an answer that doesn't answer anything? Is that a rhetorical question? You are not funny. But if you don't like it, would you like me to say something else instead? I don't have any good ones though. How about your pants are on fire? This can be our secret language. His honest to goodness silliness, made twice more ridiculous by the fact that I know she is dead serious, derails me like it always does. There's some kind of a safety lock to prevent me from becoming too much of a worrywart, dragging my own thoughts off the ground where they should be. Stacey smiled confusedly, but only on the inside. And the corners of my mouth are now drawing into a grin, so impressed by her ease of wrecking any attempt at being too serious. Could she, should she will so, forget and ignore things that bug her, things that bother her? Could she, should she will so, be free of whatever burden being her means? Or am I the only one who feels burdened by being myself? No thanks. But still, times when I felt that I'm on the same page as you are pretty rare. Feels like there's this huge gap, and sometimes just go to the other side and I don't have any way to reach you from where I am. It's like you are in some completely different place at times, even though you are right here. That's right. There is an insurmountable discontinuity, an imaginary glass wall that blocks comprehension from happening. There might be such a gap between any two people, but Rin feels more tangible. Rin does not react to my thoughts, not to the ones I uttered aloud, nor the ones I did not. It's even worse with art. Not very good at art, I admit it. 10. Joined the art club because I thought it could be interesting. I guess it is. I like art. I like your art too. But just like with you, I can't comprehend it. I'm pretty sure nobody really can. Well, that's how it is, Hisao. No understanding here. Wait, what? It seems to worry her slightly. Do you think so? Yeah. I guess that art is meant to be interpreted, not understood. That's how I'd put it. That's a sad thought. I guess it might feel like one. Does it make you feel sad for yourself? Rin thinks about this for a while and then shakes her head surprisingly vehemently. First thing she focuses her eyes on afterwards is me. Both of these things make me glad and relieved. It's good, isn't it? Anyway, you should go see the teacher and apologize properly. I think he's worried about you. Can you do that? This time she nods her head. Only it's not as vehement. Oh, alright. So I guess we reached an understanding? I don't know. It sounds like that's not the right choice though. Hallway is empty, almost intimidating. Nobody's office is the art classroom at the other end of the third floor hallway. Steps echo disturbingly. The atmosphere is unlike on a normal afternoon. Feels like the school knows that nobody will be coming back for a month too. Door is open but not very inviting. I'll wait outside. Nodding barely noticeably, Rin strides in without stopping, naturally without knocking. Maybe that's why it takes a few seconds before I hear the teacher's voice from inside. There you are! Hello. Conflict arises. Should I stay or go somewhere else? Should you stay or should you go now? You should stay, man. I'm not sure if I even want to eavesdrop on them. Manners lose curiosity, and so I stay close enough to listen in. Their voices echo in the hallway, but no matter. There's nobody around save for me. Dear girl, what on earth were you thinking? Leaving like that on the big night? I can't say anything. Compared to Nomiya's scolding tone, Rin sounds awfully quiet and withdrawn. Words seem to drown under his. I have to say, I'm very disappointed in you, Tezuka. It was no good at all. This is pretty much not knowing what the hell is going on the route. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough, Seb. Never mind all the things I did for you, but what about Sae? What about all the guests who wanted to meet you? There was nobody. Even Hisao. You have embarrassed us very badly, Tezuka. Reputation is what counts. Surely you know that. It's alright. I don't need it. Don't need? What do you think you know? His replies only seem to agitate the teacher more, his voice rising with every sentence. The path of an artist is a thorny one. I'll tell you that. Thorny! You have to see the big picture. There will be bad times and good times. Things are like that. Things are like they are. It'll be alright even. You might now think that it's oh so wonderful and easy. But how far would you have gotten without me? I won't always be there for you. When you lie on the floor of your minuscule room, you're read 3 weeks late, your mind blank for the 4th week straight, then you'll wish that you had listened to old Nomiya a bit more. You keep measuring how the shadow of your chair becomes longer over the spring, because that's all your liturgy allows. Maybe that's when you'll start caring about your career. That doesn't matter. Your resolve is not enough. I am not a resolved person. You are not a resolved person. Then tell me why did you go through all this trouble if it amounts to a mosquito shit? Oh dear, the teacher blew fleas. Him yelling at Rin makes me feel bystander's guilt. If I'd gone with her, maybe he wouldn't have gotten so angry. If not let her run away, he wouldn't have gotten angry in the first place. Still could go and save her. I don't think I can. I was the same. I yelled at Rin too. I'm feeling all the more embarrassed about it now. Felt justified to vent my anger at her face just because I felt it was her fault that I was so frustrated. I was no more justified than the teacher is. Terrible silence sets upon the hallway. Rin does not have anything to say to Nomiya. Whether she has run out of answers or she knows that arguing would only make him angrier is anyone's guess. Teacher has nothing more to say either, it seems. Maybe he just ran out of breath. From what I imagine, the two of them just staring at each other, one full of red-hot anger, the other full of... guess what? Can't tell how Rin feels. Not before, not now. Teacher seems to expect Rin to say something too. Since she doesn't, he finally continues in a quieter but not less angry voice. What worth is there in doing so much work if the outcome is nothing? Still, Rin will not say anything. Oh, no, I think the bigger problem is that, especially in the Rin route, it makes a lot more sense if you see it from Rin's perspective, I think is what it is. So I feel like the big thing that's making me like kind of lost here is I keep seeing Hisao's descriptions of things, or I see other people talk about things, but we don't get enough of Rin. I think Rin is in the right in this case. Like, she doesn't see it the way the others around her see it, because even though she's not sure of it herself, she has a vision of what she wants it to be. And I think that's the problem, is that we keep seeing it from other people's perspectives, so we get distorted on what that vision is of Rin's. Much like Rin herself, I think, feels throughout most of this route. It's very interesting in that regard. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have gotten so excited. He does not sound sorry at all. Rather, his tone is cold and sharp. He is spitting the words out of his mouth. It seems I was expecting too much. You are not an artist after all. Yep, not sorry at all. He storms out of the club room and down the stairs without noticing me. After he's gone, I peek carefully inside the classroom. Rin is left standing there in front of the teacher's desk. I couldn't say I'm sorry. That's kind of funny now. Say that into the humid air of the classroom, not to me. Since the room won't answer her, I will have to. That was unfair of him. He was angry, but still. I can't decide how to end my sentence. Staining the teacher feels like disdaining my own behavior from 2 days ago. Well, maybe you should apologize, Sal. I'm just saying, you know. Stupid but correct in hindsight. Rin won't answer, staying petrified where she stands, so I walk up to her. Stood up for herself in a way I didn't expect that. I can't determine whether it's unbecoming or not by the way she did it. Against me, she never did. Sort of wish she had. Maybe I would not feel this bad then. Lately, it really seems that I've been wishing for all kinds of things. Feeling better is a questionable thinking. Yeah, Caterly, I agree. And Tom has actually been very good about that, about telling people not to just assume things, like, or like, you know, do this or that in regards to things like that. So yeah, no, I agree with that too. Like, you know, writing it off with this or that. It's like, it's very lazy of people. They're not truly understanding the character. I agree with that in that regards. And you know, people do it unintentionally too. Like, you know, you always perceive on like first impressions, and it's like a thing that people do societally, like in general, and like people shouldn't do that. Like, you know, you should always give someone a second impression, a third one. But it's one of the hardest things to do because that first impression does stand out. You know. And I'm not perfect, like, you know, I'll tell you this right now. If I go to a restaurant and they have terrible service once, I'll never go there again. Service industry, you know. What are you going to do? Like, anyway. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Rin? Go away. What are you saying? You're angry with me too, right? I thought you were my friend. I thought you was too. Her voice is unlike I ever heard it. It's bitter, sharp like needles. She keeps staring pointedly at her toes. Thanks. I don't think it's about that. Hisao, no. You should have apologized a long time ago is the problem. I wanted you to become something you are not, and... Take a deep breath and finally catch her eyes in my own, locking our gazes. I'm sorry. I wanted us to be something else too, more than friends. Maybe that's why I couldn't contain myself and became so frustrated, just like the teacher did. Oh my god, he's finally apologizing! What more? There's nothing more to me than me. That's all I am. I don't understand that. Well, the answer should be obvious, right? I remember myself thinking of the purpose of friendship. Put up with everything and anything to be there for your friend. Did I fail as a friend? Think it could be a stepping stone for something else? Maybe because of those thoughts, I didn't manage to put up with things to keep it together. As outrageous as Rin is and was, I shouldn't have let myself get caught into that, especially when I started feeling the way I did towards her. So did I fail? Yeah, you did, Hisao! Finally! Finally, Hisao! Oh, God. Growing a little bit more again. Yeah, well, that's what our eyes seem to ask. I'm sorry, Rin. I might not be able to be your friend. I don't think I could ever be a good friend to you. Say these things because they are true, not because one of us would like to hear them. There's something that must be said. The finality of my words creates a shaking silence. What could either of us add to that? Why? Why does all this happen? People are doing things I don't ask for, don't want any everyone and don't want and everyone keeps getting angry at me. I have no idea what is going on anymore and can't stop feeling like I want to run away from everything. She shuts her eyes tight and breathes out deeply, calmly. When the eyelids open, all I can see is dark green desperation. I have no idea what's wrong with me. Frenetic outburst stupefies me for a moment, and for a heartbeat, we just gaze into each other's faces. Seeing her confused eyes desperately looking for answers from mine only makes me sad, because I know I have none. I don't know either. You know, you yourself said that things are not right nor wrong. They just are. Either accept them, work to change them, or give up. It's not that I hate you, or that teacher Nomia does. I just think that I am the kind of person who gives up when he feels he can't go on. And even if you hate it, this is how things are. I'm saying pretty cruel things, but I can't stop myself. The words keep rolling off my tongue with slow, hard certainty. Man, Hisao really is not a good friend. Gotta look for the TV? Alright. Night, Caterly. You see them hitting Rin, almost like physical blows. So wetness gathers into the corners of her eyes. They are still wide with the shock of rejection. As the tears start rolling down her pale cheeks, she does nothing to stop them. As they fall down on the floor one by one, she stands still, staring at me with a gaze full of hollow disbelief. But reality catches up. Rin slumps forward as if she was deflating and buries her face as deep in my shirt as she can. Rin is heavy and feather-light when I support her weight. She doesn't really sob or bawl, just leans against me, letting her tears burn through my shirt into the skin underneath. I let her, bringing my hand around her shoulders in a clumsy hug that does no good to comfort her. I can feel Rin's vertebrae against my fingertips like hard and jagged reminders of how messed up things are. Slim shoulders quivering against my palm is a pitiable sight. The hopelessness of being part of the cause for Rin's sadness keeps shredding my heart. Make a girl cry is the most despicable thing to do. Even Rin. Especially Rin. Behind that veil of aloofness, Rin is just a human being too. Just as confused, scared, and lost as any of us. Most of the time it seems that there is no rhyme or reason for what Rin does and says, but for once I think I really understand how she feels. But no words can express it, and no words can make it better. Excuse me. So wordless we stay, quietly waiting for her tears to run out. Time passes agonizingly slowly, and the lazy specks of dust floating in the air seem to pause into a standstill. The obligatory wall clock is ticking distractingly from the above door. I decide against counting the seconds because it would make them feel longer. Oh yeah, you have to rewatch the VOD next week. Eventually, Rin stirs a little and, still smothering herself against my chest, mutters into my shirt. Let me be here for a while. Please, Hisao. Just give me a little while. Soothing deluge spreads into my consciousness. Knowledge that while being here for Rin is all I can do for her, it's all she wants right now, even after all we've gone through. Sure. So she stays there. I still can't bring myself to draw her closer so I can embrace her properly. It's because doing it would just make me so sad that I don't know if I could bear it. The realization that we might never really be able to become what we want to be for the other crystallizes into my mind as a diamond heart enlightenment. Pang surges through my heart like an electric shock. It's painful. Its clarity hurts. What can we do? What can we be for each other? What meaning is there for us to desperately cling to each other even though it seems futile? What should I say to Rin? How can I make her feel better? Do I know any of those things? I fear knowing them would only hurt more. Forcefully, I push all of that out of my mind because I don't want to be thinking of hurtful truths. Thoughts calm down soon enough. Sadness disperses until all that is left is me and Rin, and the tender feeling of her warmth and softness against my chest. When did I fall in love with her? I can't remember, but I'm certain it was way before the warm touch of her lips on my own, on that orange-colored afternoon when she was sick with cold, and I went to see her because of unclear reasons. Carefree attitude, the air of otherness around her, all the other things that make Rin herself, those things captured me with irresistible force. The way she could take in anything and everything, giving it only the value she herself placed, weighing all things fairly without prejudice, seeing the world as she wanted. This is something I could never do, and Rin was probably more of a muse to me than anything ever was to her. Alright, Tom. She seemed so free to me, truly a free spirit, while I, constantly worrying about everything, seemed so inhibited that it was almost embarrassing. Maybe that's why I latched so tightly onto Rin, trying to get inside her world that was so different from my own bleak life. Before I noticed it, that irresistible force had pulled me dangerously close to her, but it turned out to be way too alien for me. I had forgotten Newton, of all things. Gravitational force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the objects. So if two people feel something for each other, even though feelings are not governed by the constants of the universe, I can't help thinking that for some time now, I've been a satellite to Rin's brightly shining planet. Planet Rin. The thought makes you almost laugh. It really does seem to be from another planet at times, minus green skin and possibly some tentacles. Perhaps because of my stifled laughter, pulls away, I let her go, feeling the cold when her warmth goes away. A slight embarrassment for letting my thoughts run wild like that. Credit that as Rin being a bad influence on me, while being glad at the same time that she can't read thoughts for real. Rin's bitter tears have dried up, and she looks a little more like herself again. The lost look in her eyes is still there though. Her gaze wanders around restlessly before stopping at me. Wait, well, no, he thought I was into feet and tentacles now? Oh, no. He thought I was just piling on fetishes, you know? What happened just now? Can you tell me? What? Well, what do you mean? I cried. She says that hesitantly, as if not believing it herself. Yes. She keeps staring at me, as if pleading guidance so that she wouldn't have to feel so lost. Why? He laughed as we fixed it a few days. That's good. He's a kinky SOB. Yeah, he is. You were sad. Is that what you want me to say? But isn't that obvious? I don't know. It feels weird to cry. What? I don't believe it. I mean, everyone does that. It's Bite my tongue before I finish my argument about normality. Norms do not apply to the person I'm talking to. It always felt so wrong, different from what is in me. Like, I couldn't really tell what I felt. So I started thinking that maybe I don't know what I'm feeling. Maybe it's me who's wrong. I thought those kinds of things. I thought that painting was enough because it felt that I did at least that right. That's all that is inside me could become a picture if I tried really hard, and it could. But it doesn't feel like it's enough anymore, because if nobody else can see that, I will still be alone. See, it's coming up. Was it wrong to try? Everyone got really angry at me for that. Rarely heard Rin say this much at once before. When she finishes, she simply shuts up, looking so neutral that it's hard to believe she just said what she did. I don't know what to think. I don't know either. Reed was desperate for someone to look at her paintings and somehow see right through them into her soul, to understand her feelings. Because she felt she could not express them in any other way. How can one say whether that is right or wrong? Could it be that all this time she's been trying to reach out to me like I've tried to reach out to her? Sit down on a desk to think, and to rest my legs that kept us both standing for a long while. You know, when I read a good book, or look at a starry sky or whatever, sometimes I too feel it, something, profound. Like a... shoot. I don't know how to describe it. But the instant I tried to put it into words, feel that I lose something. Doesn't feel as real. As true as it did inside my head. Feels a bit phony. Damn. Even what I just said felt phony. Offer a smile that is meant to be between funny and self-deprecating. Rin doesn't react. Anyway. Might be that nobody can ever express their true feelings so that others understand. Reality has no chance of living up to what someone has inside their head. Nothing can match that, not even your paintings, except maybe for you. But I suppose you can't keep everything inside. You'd explode for real then. What I'm trying to say is, I don't think it's wrong to express your feelings, even if you use painting as your conduit. You just can't expect people to understand you any better than they would if you did it any other way. In fact, you can't expect people to understand you at all. It's because everything is so just subjective. You see the world the way you do, but it's different from everyone else. But isn't that terrible? I guess it is, in a way. She frowns, looking probably as stricken as she can. It's not much, but it's enough for me to understand that Rena's not particularly happy. I think it might make me sad after all. Yeah, I know. I wish I could do something to help it. I don't think I sound bitter, even though I am a little. This is my problem. I cannot be what Rin wants for her. For the same reason, she can't do the same for me either. She makes a difficult face, carefully trying to pick the words she wants to say. Serene has times when it's hard to say anything too. It can't be helped, I think. But if you say that, it makes you feel a little better. It's funny how some seemingly irrelevant things are the most significant ones at times like this. How Rin's voice is very, very small, barely audible when she says that. Now even her short bangs can cover her eyes when she looks downwards. How she can't cover the deep red color rising on her cheeks and all the way to the tips of her ears. It turns out a very interesting shade of red. Deafening silence follows. It's very awkward, as if I saw something that wasn't meant to be seen, even if it wasn't on purpose. I don't know what to say to that, but I keep feeling like I should know. She doesn't either. Still, it feels like there's no momentum to lose even if we keep silent. We have some weird wordless connection that would hold even so. She's shifting her weight from one foot to the other restlessly, looking everywhere around the room except me. She's the one who finally breaks the spell. Can we go? I don't want to stay here. Oh yeah, of course. Where? Reply is covering my nervousness as badly as her question is covering hers. You can go wherever you like. I want to sleep. I haven't really slept for a few weeks. Feels like there's a flock of light blue butterflies inside my head. Makes it hard to think properly. Kind that you think is too blue to really exist, like Emmy's panties this morning. She shakes her head. I almost expect a couple of ultramarine colored morphos to pop out of her ears. Small smile tugs upwards corners of her mouth. That reminds me, the blue, not the panties. The word for a flock of butterflies is a swarm. I looked it up. That makes my eyebrow rise in a questioning arc. Why don't you use it then? I like the other word better. I'll look it up in the first place then. Then you should use it, right? She nods and falls silent, her gaze escaping mine to the side, attracted by the dark orange sunlight refracting from the windows. Stay like that for a little while, me silently looking at her, silently looking out the window. Hey, you alright now? She glanced at me from the corner of her eye, looking wistful again. Sunlight's reflection doesn't betray any more of her inner feelings. I need to think about that. To continue this conversation, grasping at those straws that she finally revealed to even exist. Rin is looking out the window so absentmindedly that I know she won't be responsive in any way that would make sense. It's like some kind of defense mechanism of hers to avoid being sensible. Her mind is like a butterfly in itself, always fluttering somewhere away whenever it's stirred. So I thought I could see her behind her veil, she jumps out of my reach again. Maybe that's just how Rin is. Maybe. It's something I should just accept to get some peace of mind. Okay. Walk you back to the dorms then. Thanks. Really. The empty hallways of the school, devoid of its students, feel very lonely. Less than 1 hour after the summer vacation began, the building seems to be deserted, and all that intrudes on the stillness of the hallways are our footsteps. The change is sudden. It shows how the building is just an empty shell, dead without its students and teachers. It's as though the school has become a private world for only the two of us, a desolate place filled with silence and chalk dust. I think I have to change. Said out of the blue while we walked down the staircase from the 3rd floor, so managing to feel like she is mirroring what I was just thinking before. It's what people must do sometimes. The last thing we say to each other that day, even though there would be so much to talk about. Even those words drowned in the all-encompassing silence, disappearing into stagnant air, as if they were never said. There you go. Interesting. Looks like everyone got a little bit off their chest now. First day of summer vacation is a disappointment. I can already hear from the water hose going outside. Woke up, water came down from the leaden sky in biblical proportions. I was optimistic at the time. Quick summer shower, I thought. Torrents of rain for a few minutes and it's gone. No such luck. Rainwater is relentlessly pouring down from the blue-gray sky outside, streaming down the glass of my window into small brooks and rivers and gathering together to form miniature ponds on the walkways. Just like it had done for the past 2.5 hours. So I've been half-assedly cleaning up in between, half-assedly reading a book, packing my stuff on the side when I get bored of the first two. The weather drags my spirits pretty down too, making it harder to do anything properly. Something bumps quite loudly against my door, rouses me up from my apathy. Hope it's not Kenji in his crazy indoors bowling alley. I hear no more sounds in the corridor until I walk to the door and open it. Rin. Wish seeing her would evoke some more emotion in me, but for one, I'm not too surprised that she came to see me, and for two, she is soaking wet. Uniform shirt is drenched and she is standing in a self-created puddle. Droplets of rainwater dripping from her short bangs and sliding down her nose until they fall down from the tip. One by one. Hi. How are you feeling? Medium normal. The relative questionability of her statement aside, she sure doesn't look too good. You're all wet. It's because I come from outside. Do you know it? Why'd you be outside? It's raining buckets out there if you haven't noticed. I haven't. It's raining pretty hard though. I was on a walk. This is what you call wallowing in self-pity? Do you think I'm pitiful? No, I implied that you think you are. I'm not. The rain is not a sad thing. Don't you ever walk in the rain? I do, but only with proper equipment, like an umbrella. You just need to imagine you have a blue umbrella with white stripes. Might be tough when rain is falling on my head. Just imagine harder. Yeah, she definitely is back to normal. It's half sarcastic and considerate remarks that really push my buttons even though she doesn't mean it. Vacant, spaced out stare that always expects more than it gives. It's so very much like her. I may need to come in. I need some help with this water and clothes I'm wearing. Rain quickly solves this equation, and I stumble with my words, stark display of contrast against Rin's easygoing self-invitation. But Emmy... and shakes her head vehemently, causing water to sprinkle everywhere. She left. Besides, she was just worry and fuss until she could not worry or fuss anymore, which always takes a troublesomely long time. It's in fact longer than I want to hear her fussing, and I thought you probably are not the fussy kind. Something on my desk with a squishy sound. So clothes are making the desk and everything on it wet, but she doesn't care. Okay, fine, I'll help you out. I have a towel somewhere. You want dry clothes? Is the uniform fine? I'm taller than you, but... Everything is fine. A little searching, I find a fresh uniform and fluffy towel from the depths of my closet. Towel in one hand and uniform in the other, I turned to face Rin again, uncertain of the next step. Something wrong with me. A normal guy would just stop worrying. It's not a problem. Trying to see right through my hesitant demeanor. As if I was completely transparent to her. Push my anxiety away and concentrate on the 8 buttons lined on her shirt, just like mine has. The first button is an obstacle, and after getting it over, I undo the others with slightly less shaking hands. Throwing the soaked shirt aside, I reveal Rin's pale upper body, shrouded it only in her light blue brassiere, which instantly reminds me of her saying it's her favorite color. Try not to think too much about stuff, but it's hard not to look at her body with what I can only think of as mixed feelings. I don't know what to think of this, so I just watch her. Rin looks brittle. She's like a shell, fragile thing just barely holding together. Ribs, each of them visible under her pale skin, are moving up and down in a rhythm of her breaths. Rin always struck me as quite thin, but I realize now that the manic creative period before the exhibition opening might have caused her to lose weight. Did she eat properly enough? Definitely not, and probably not. This ugly yet beautiful bare minimum of a human body that belongs to someone I care about is a contradiction of aesthetics in itself, oddly becoming of her. My eyes follow her collarbone to her shoulders and down her arm until the abrupt end. No, it's less than the bare minimum. I think with the passing pang of sadness, some guilt for thinking like that. Someone get her a steak? Her arms degenerated into almost nothing but bone and skin due to lack of use, look very short now that the long sleeves of her uniform are now covering them. The lack of any negative reaction makes me think that I've actually grown pretty accustomed to the various physical abnormalities of my schoolmates. I always wondered why Rin kept her shirt sleeves long, only tying them in a simple knot at where the elbows would be. Seems a bit impractical, but then again, she is not exactly the pinnacle of practicality. Maybe she likes it. Maybe it's somehow important to her. Maybe there's no deeper meaning to it. I feel like asking, and almost do, but Rin's miserable state requires a higher priority of my attention. Stop talking too, after he ran out of spiky greetings. Guess there's no need for chit-chat then. Pick up the towel from the bed and wrap it around her head, rumpling it all over her hair until most of the rainwater is hopefully soaked into the fabric. She peeks from below the towel at me, looking up with impassive eyes. As if she wants to say something without saying it. It's that kind of look. I can't read what she is thinking about from her face, so I just keep on fussing with the towel around her shoulders and hair. Silence is oppressive, terrifying. Communication between us has suddenly been reduced to the movements of my hands and the towel, Rin swaying her body to and fro. Jagged breathing and her quiet breaths, trying to find a common rhythm that just is not there. I think I hear her heartbeats, or maybe they are just mine redoubled. As I brush a rogue strand of hair aside from her ear, and suddenly press her cheeks against the back of my hand. The contact is electric, a jolt of current surging through me. Whether she seeks comfort, warmth, or just my touch, I wouldn't know. I can't help touching her back, caressing her soft cheek with my hand. With closed eyes, she kisses me, on the fingers, counting the joints of their lips. I'm saddened beyond my expressive capability. Here we are, a boy and a girl, both in love, or something like that with each other, or maybe not, and yet... Something is broken. You can feel it in me and in Rin. The way our gazes merely brush against each other, shying away from contact, in her closed, timid posture, and in my way of touching her like a china doll, afraid of shattering her delicate form. And how we are closer than we have ever been, yet I'm not feeling happy. It's like yesterday. When did tenderness and forlornness become one and the same word? Acts of affection start evoking only longing. How? Why do we end up like this? No, don't answer that, I like to say to myself. Fighting against the omniscience of self-awareness is a lost cause. Still, I am here, and Rin is here. It feels like she might be able to solve whatever problem she has. If she can, why couldn't I? Why couldn't we? Feels like taking that step is too much, too difficult, too uncertain. So for now, all I can do is dry her up, and she won't get cold again. Pet her head, try to sort out the hair that refuses to be sorted out even when wet. pair of dark glazed eyes followed my every movement. Pants too? She nods in answer, leans back and spreads her legs with a grotesquely inviting gesture that makes a nasty feeling crawl up and down my spine like a bad premonition. It's not enough to sober me though. The silence is starting to make me feel detached from myself. Move automatically without thinking, even though I should talk to her about this, or at least about something. Silence is a spell, a pact that has bound us to this private world made of the dull sound of rainfall and the soft feel of her skin against my fingers. The button of her trousers is fastened tight, but it opens surprisingly easily. Slipping them off is hard, mostly because she's sitting on them. No intention of standing up to ease my task. Kneel down uncomfortable and titillating between her legs so I can quickly dry her bare feet, remembering that they are as important to her as hands are to me. So work the towel up from the ankles, then brushes her thigh against my cheek, and nudges the small of my back with her heel to make me come closer. Look up to meet her silent stare that was waiting for me to look up. An unassuming, expectant stare seems to say that the ball is in my court. I fleetingly brush my hand against her inner thigh. Touch makes her gasp sharply, as if she was trying to hold back breathing. What if I do this then? The small kiss I place on her thigh is enough to make Rin lose her composure, shut her eyes to squeal almost inaudibly. This is what you want to do? Want to? Would it be alright now to take this step? What if? Maybe if. Hazy thoughts float somewhere in the back of my unfocused mind. Somehow, this whole situation is making it hard to think. As if my head was full of cotton fluff. That's alright. Seems thinking is not something we need right now. It seems we need some kabocha squash! Yeah. Present. What? Present is a fleeting and vague concept at best. The moment between the past and the future. It doesn't really mean anything. It's like a remix of the transition song. Interesting. Thinking too much about things that don't make sense is a waste of time. That's why living through the present is always the best option. Besides, for us who can't foresee the future and who forgot the past too easily, present is really the only proof of our existence. Even though existence will go on even if you forget about it for a while. It's good to seize the day at least every once in a while. That way you can confirm that you are in fact alive. That was weird. Transition is the remix, that's the full track? Okay, interesting. Pretty sure that the girl standing there half naked staring out of the window of my room has a much better grasp of present than I do. As for me, well, right now I'm somewhat confused by my present state, so I should try to locate my shirt and not stare at Rin's butt. But I just can't stop looking at her. She's so close to the glass that her nose is probably going to leave a mark. At least her breathing does, when it condenses on the rain-cooled window glass before quickly disappearing again. My shuffling around to get dressed doesn't rouse Rin from her contemplation, which is fine, really. I don't mind the silences as much as I used to. Only after I'm almost finished with the buttoning up my shirt, does Rin say something still without turning to look at me. Let's go somewhere. Where? I assume she's inviting me and not the windowsill, but it's a fair guess. I know. What? Help me get dressed. I think today is the day. Come on, clothes. Clothes. One important tone. One impatient tone, I mean. Crouched down to pick up her bra from the floor where it had fallen, scarred in the haste of undressing and forgotten there. Hanging it from between my fingers like a dead fish, the same hesitation that grasped me when I was undressing Rin is creeping up inside my head again. Is intimacy really something that difficult for me to handle? Come on, you got it off just fine. This is the same but the other way around. It's like talking backwards. I say, Steve. I mean, should I say that? You say it's the tub draw sneeze? I mean, you know, I can read that very easily. No, it just says seems hard, but it's easy. Flexed by her sudden and prodigious display of mental processing capacity, Forgets attempted reversing her gibberish back. Pretty sure I could have switched to talking backwards that fluidly even with some practice. Could you repeat that? I say stub, dressing, sneeze. I don't know. Got it, fine, I'll give it a try. I was right. The locking mechanism is simple enough, and I get the little plastic hooks right on the third attempt. There. 其实就 whatever you want. They have to adjust it. What? Please stop that. I don't speak backwardese. Shakes her head as if needing to banish the backwards way of thinking with a physical gesture. No few people could benefit from that kind of ability. I got stuck. Now you have to adjust it. Adjust? That's what I said. No, I asked what you meant. You know, so that they are fine. Oh, fine, you say. I have no idea when her breasts are supposed to be fine. I end up fumbling around her chest for a good while without really getting anywhere. Not that I would complain, but Rin does. Emmy is better than you at this. Her patient tone ticks me off, even though I can't really disagree. Rin suddenly seems to be in an awful hurry. Yeah, well, excuse me. Could that be because she is a girl? Can actually relate? I don't think so. She has just about as much chest as you do. Oh, that burn. The bra and breasts eventually fine, as they should be. The rest of her clothes are considerably easier to put on. Rin launches toward the door even though her shirt is not even buttoned up all the way yet. With a little choice, I run after her. As soon as I realized that we were heading for the side entrance leading to the forest, I think I know where Rin wanted to go. Although I couldn't say why she wanted to go there. Then again, I can't really assume my guesses to be anywhere near correct when Rin is concerned. Not even for a quite generous definition of correct. The forest behind the walls smells of rain. The last raindrops are still dripping from the wet undergrowth into the earth despite the rain being gone for a while already. We stroll along with an unhurried pace that Rin sets, giving me time to take in the calming atmosphere. I think I hear Rin saying hello to at least 3 different trees while she walks past them, but I ignore it, just like the trees do. She leads me to the narrow side path leading up to the hilltops, as I guessed. Peek through the canopy, trying to find a rainbow, but there doesn't seem to be one. Perfect weather for rainbows. The sun is shining low. The rain has passed not too long ago. Well, whatever. I lower my eyes from the tree tops to see the gaunt back of the girl who is climbing up the hill slowly without losing her balance. A few steps ahead of me on the path was still within my reach. I don't think I ever could reach a rainbow, but reaching Rin seems less impossible than it used to seem. The clear sky greeting us from above the meadow clearing seems vast and beautiful. A strong wind is herding the rain clouds away from the town, to the other side of the mountains in the distance. The sight is pretty, but a speck of white flies past the edge of my peripheral vision, but when I turn to look, it's already gone. Another flows, then a third. Before I realize it, dozens of almost invisible small tufts of white are flying around us. Look, the flowers. I see now. The sea of dandelions that covered the hilltop on our last visit has changed over the days. Where there was bright yellow before, there is now fluffy whites. Some of the flowers have already shed their seeds, but many are still waiting for a suitable gust of wind. Today those gusts are not in short demand. Every now and then they shake the grass thoroughly, and suddenly the air is thick with dandelion seeds. The weeds populate. Wait, what? One by one, the seeds separate from the flower heads and are lifted away. Commonplace event, but one that seems to fascinate Rin for some reason. Turning her head from side to side, marveling at the change happening all around her as the seeds fly away. Watch them too, following the white tufts floating with the wind towards the horizon. I imagine that I could see them even after they disappear from my sight. So, What is it? Do you love me? Snapped to attention to meet her suddenly very serious face. She's not looking at the flowers anymore. What a tough question. Asked just like that, out of the blue. Still, bluntness compels me to answer rapidly. I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe too rapidly. What does that mean? I don't know. Rin sighs, perhaps unhappy with my wishy-washy answer. I would be too. Me neither. I don't think I know much about love. It's fine, isn't it? How should I know? Shrug over her shoulders seemed to say, hesitating to give a firmer answer. She stays silent for only a second too long. Even that second isn't long enough for me to think ahead. I love you. Those 3 words freeze me in place like a rabbit staring into headlights. I'm not a rabbit. I'm just staring into Rin's eyes that seem far, far too impassive for what she just let out of her mouth. It looks pretty serious, though, until she sticks out her tongue, frowns a little and confused me even more than her words did. Why did she look mildly unhappy? Was it a confession of her deepest feelings? Test to see how I'd react. Test to see how she would react. It tastes weird. Tastes? Yeah, so weird. She laughs, maybe nervously or so I want to think. Stops midway when she notices how strange it sounds. Like, I don't know what. I don't think there's a word for this. Keeps on talking as though there was no meaning behind her words. Steady and careless words dropping from the same tongue that formed the most important ones. A word for, accept. It's like, she can't find the words. And just keeps staring at me, stumbling with her words as if her brain suddenly ground to a halt. She looks awfully confused, much like how I feel right now as I wait for her to explain. But she doesn't. She just blinks a few times, flutter of her long lashes catching my fancy. She looked like she is petrified otherwise. So I realized what they were fighting against. Those weird tears again. Not associated with sadness or happiness, not pitiable sobbing nor laughter or joy. Just tears, spontaneously and without warning. Like that one time in her classroom. Just a few of them, not enough to make a fuss about. Rin doesn't make a move to hide them even after noticing. Rin cries, looking like she has no idea why. Somehow a great uneasiness grows in my chest. Look into her watery eyes that stare right back at me. Petrifies me too. Shocked with the incomprehensibility of this situation. I just don't know what is happening anymore. See the social link bar slowly moving up? That's basically happening right now. Rin, what's wrong? She shakes her head in confusion, stumbling to get the words out of her mouth. Sorry. I might be a little afraid of you. Words are muttered slowly with a small voice that is as disbelieving of what it's saying as I am. What? Why? I don't know. Saying that just made me feel like that. People cry when they're afraid, right? See? I can do it too. Deferring her gaze now, deliberately not looking at me. Bewilders me at least as much as what she is saying. I sometimes, with you, want to run away so badly, but I can't move it's like my legs turn into lemon panna cotta pudding. My heart feels like it's going to explode and slumps her shoulders melancholically. Has a thing like this ever happened to you? I remember the leaden sky above the frozen forest and the sound of the leafless branches clacking against each other. It's like a memory from another life. Yeah, once. My heart hurt a lot back then too. I thought your thing was not contagious. Shake my head and a tiny, slightly forced smile raised on my lips. The other ailment in my heart could very well be contagious and I wouldn't care a bit. What are you afraid of? Never thought I was scary. And shakes her head desperately, as if knowing that the tangle inside her mind won't be undone with just that. You make me feel that I should be someone else than me. It's a scary thing. Happens when you're being nice to me, like yesterday. I never know what to do at times like that. It's hard. Voice is barely audible, a whispered admission of something that is too embarrassing to even think, not to mention to say aloud. Rin has never been one to be embarrassed, so she does utter it aloud, only timidly as if by instinct. But I want to do something, but I don't know if this me can. For a moment we just stare at each other as if waiting for the other to say something. You are so stupid. Rin's lips taste salty and scared against mine. As I grasp her into an embrace, I feel my heart thumping in my chest painfully. Even though I am glad that she can say things like that, they make me sad after all. Rin's spirit, her passion, her strength, all those things I hold dear are the ones I don't want to change. How should I treat them? Where are they headed to? Is that future irrevocably different from mine? The anxiety will never lose its grip on my heart, but I think I can learn to live with it. Slowly the pain in my heart dies out, and it settles into the same rhythm as Rin's. We'll listen to that for some time. After our lips break apart, it takes a while for either of us to realize that we can say something now. See? You're a really kind person, even when you are not. It's the most scariest thing ever. I think that all I was ever afraid of is your kindness. Is it bad, even if you are afraid? She thinks about this for a while, furrowing her brow as though this was some kind of hard math problem. No, I'm alright with it. It's fine if it's you. Like weight lifted from my chest, her words elate my heart, filling it with, I don't know, happiness? What else could it be? This time my smile is genuine. She steps back, still smiling gently at me like I do at her. While she swipes her face on my shoulder, I pick up a round, plump dandelion clock and bring it to my pursed lips. Spread out into the wind that picks them up to carry them to a new home. I think only a few short weeks ago they were so different. This is change. Hey, so the flowers became what they were meant to become, like you said last time. What about you? Did you become a true artist? Or did you not, because you ran away? She paused for a while to ponder my question, and shrugs her shoulders. That's about right. Almost makes me laugh. The carefree easiness of her gestures is a lovely thing. Sign of how Rin can, truly and really, without any restraints whatsoever, shed the entire weight of the world from her shoulders should she will so. She is in every possible and probably a few impossible ways free. I think I might love her for that. I don't think it matters. Let's just watch the clouds for today. It takes 5 steps to climb on a large rock so she can rise as high as possible here, and stands on her tiptoes. When you reach for the clouds, every inch counts. Sure, let's watch the clouds. It could do something you really want to do every now and then. Yeah, you're probably right. Glance upwards at the blue sky opening high above us. Best CG in the entire game, Tom? Alright. It's a really nice one. I agree. It's a deep cerulean vastness that spreads to fill my entire field of vision and beyond. Yet Rin stays on her rock, peering at the distant horizon, where the rain clouds are drifting farther away from us. I have decided something. That dreaming voice of hers, spoken to the wind that carries it to my ears, is lacking resolve and tone, was full of its meaning. It's alright to be me after all. It's alright? Her decision always seems to be pretty far out. Well, I suppose that is an important realization. Coming to terms with oneself, accepting yourself, being fine with what you are. Simple resolution of heart that for some people is overbearingly hard to do, if not impossible. I do realize well enough that I might also be one of those people. Rin too. Maybe we are not that different after all. Maybe to accept someone else, you must first accept yourself. Maybe that is a necessary step which we didn't take until now. Looking at her standing on that rock, I believe that she can find whatever she is looking for. And so can I. I think now it's the best CG, right? With her hands held high. The wind catches her hair and clothes. Rin spreads her short arms into the embrace that is so very, very tiny, but as wide as she can ever do. For a moment it looks like she herself might take flight, I have to hold myself back to not reach for her shoulder, to not drag her back to me. This picture is something I can only watch. It's something for me to remember. Rin's sleeves are flapping freely in the wind, her hair wildly tousled by it, her skin touched by the setting sun. Sleek form that I've come to adore is quivering in the cool wind that carries a small white specks past her, each a beginning of a new flower. All that is engraved inside my heart. Those tiny seeds scattered into the wind, so that Rin too can take her place in this world without the need to create her own inside of it. Maybe she believes it too, standing as close to heaven as possible, just giving the world a big hug. To me, it seems like the entire world really could fit there, between those small arms of hers, inside of her all-encompassing embrace. Hisao. She looks at me in the same way she calls my name, carelessly over her shoulder with a strange happiness in her voice and in her eyes. Gaze into those mysterious dark eyes that are curiously twinkling below her auburn hair. Although I'm not too far from her to see it, I'm sure they are reflecting my image. What is it? What's the word for it? What's the word for when it feels inside your heart that everything in the world is alright? Aww. We call that word peace. Katawa Shoujos. That was really nice. You know what? I'm gonna actually let these credits run. That was really nice. But I definitely felt like that entire route was very much a that entire route felt like a what does Rin think? If we knew what Rin thought, I think it would have gotten a lot better. Or been resolved a lot sooner. Best route or no anime? You know what? I'm gonna say that Rin's route is the most interesting. Not necessarily the best one, not necessarily my favorite one, but it's definitely the most interesting. It has a lot of good ups and downs for both Rin and Hisao, I think. I think that makes it one of the most interesting routes. So I think that makes it that's a pretty good sell on that one. That was really nice. I really enjoyed that. I've enjoyed this game a lot. That was really sweet. That was good. That was good. That was good. I do like the fact that Rin kind of found herself in her inner peace at the end of it too. Yeah, next we're gonna do the Kenji end. Follow a guide for it. We'll get the the Kenji ending, and then we'll move on to other things. But for now, I think we had a good time, right? I think that was a good experience. I enjoyed the Rin route tremendously. I thought it paced itself very well. But for now, it's Anime Fan Arcade 2K. Thank you very much for tuning in for tonight's Katawa Shoujo. I know it was a little bit shorter. Didn't even reach 2 hours. Oh yeah, we could raid math. I don't mind doing that. I'll raid math. What is he playing? Yeah. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, we'll conclude Katawa Shoujo next week, and then next week I'll tell you guys what I plan to play after. All right. So, I'll see you guys. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.